Julius and Noelle are the two upcoming top tier characters in Black Clover Mobile, and with dupes they are even better. But which one should you actually do? Now, if you didn't know already, you can actually dupe your SSR characters, SR characters, and rare characters for free by using these universal dupe stones. And these are going to be a very important resource in making your characters, especially your SSR characters, as strong as they possibly can be. But exactly where can you get these dupe stones? So in total, for us to max a single SSR character, we're going to need 5 SSR versatile dupe stones. So the first one you can get is from the Mage's Path from after completing all the intermediate missions. You can get one right here. Then you can get another 2 of these by completing the advanced Mage's Paths missions. And then you can also get them by completing your advanced missions. So every 20 days you'll be able to get one of these SSR versatile dupe stones, or mage pieces, whatever you want to call them. But then also within actual limited time challenges, like the raid that we've got going on right now, you can actually get them from the shops there as well. And the perfect example of this is going to be the Battle Gigas raid that we have currently, as if we go ahead and head to the exchange center, you can see that we can get 1 SSR versatile mage piece. So in total at the moment we can collect around 5 of these, which is literally the perfect amount that you can be able to do this. However, getting the Battle Gigas one is actually very difficult to get for some people, as you've got to pretty much be able to make it all the way to part 4 in order for you to get enough of the coins or the raid coins to then be able to actually buy all of the stones, or there's only 1 stone, but to be able to buy the stone once this event goes away, because I believe this is only out for like a few days or maybe just a week, so you haven't got a lot of time. So make sure you can try and beat part 4 so you can get this SSR versatile mage piece. And also don't buy anything else in the shop until you have this, because all of this stuff is obtainable via other ways and other means, so this is your first and only priority for now. So before I get into actually what their dupes actually do, let me talk about as probably why you'd actually want to dupe them first. As if you watch my latest video where I talk about whether you should probably summon or skip on the season 2 banner, you'd then know that Noelle and Julius are going to be the 2 best characters that are going to come out in Black Clover Mobile, and they will be the 2 best characters for a very long time. So because of this, there's going to be loads of competition around these characters and around these units, meaning you're going to have to try and create the best Noelle or Julius as you possibly can, so then you can outcompete all of your other people and your opponents in arena and other stuff like that. And the way you get that edge is then by using their dupes, by using your universal mage pieces, so then you can then get them their dupes, their passives, their enhanced passives, whatever, so then you can then have a much bigger edge on your opponents. Okay, so now let's get on to actually what these characters' dupes actually do. So let's start off with Noelle's dupe and her actual enhanced passive, which once you get her actual passive, once she's been enhanced twice, you'll be able to get her passive, which can be at the start of the wave. She will grant herself a barrier equal to 10% of the damage that she has taken for 2 turns. Now at first this might sound a little bit underwhelming, but once you actually get it to the 5th enhancement, it actually becomes pretty damn good. As just a bit of insight into her kit, her skill 2, skill healing, is going to be a barrier that she applies, and one of the buffs that I also apply, which is another barrier, it's her own special kind of barrier, is going to be called Blessing of Water. And basically what Blessing of Water does is it will create a barrier that grants immunity to a fixed amount of damage and counteracts upon being attacked, and then if your enemy fails to remove your barrier on their first attack, you will then perform that counter attack. And this is honestly what's the best bit about her kit, is well, not only her damage, but it's also going to be the shield that she applies to herself and all of her allies, especially with those counter attacks, making her very avoidable in terms of who you actually want to target, because if you target her and you do damage to her, you're going to receive a lot back while she has a massive barrier. So if you can't get rid of her barriers in 1 turn, then you're pretty much just dead. So then this all then ties into her passive, as once you get it to enhance 5, instead of granting herself a barrier, she will then replace that barrier with a Blessing of the Water barrier, so then she can get those counters on her very first turn, which is going to be really good, and it's going to allow you to do a bunch of AoE damage, especially when you're potentially getting slowed down by someone like Lotus or something like that. You can still do damage even when you're potentially slowed down quite a bit. Okay, so on to then Julius's passive, and his passive, once you get into him to enhance 2, is going to be whenever he dies for the first time in battle, he will use something called regression, and then he will return to life with 45% of his own max HP, and then this can only be used once per battle. And this is going to be very especially useful in an arena, as pretty much it's going to make your enemy have to face off against 5 enemies, which is kind of insane, because just having that free revive is going to be ridiculous. And if you even run him with the Green Mimosa, you can then revive him another time, so then he's just pretty much invincible. It's kind of insane how well this can work. And then once you get this to enhance 5, this will then change that max amount of HP to, I believe it should be around 100% of his max HP, and should be able to fully revive himself at full HP. And this is going to honestly make him even better, because you'll be surprised how much difference this HP is going to make, as it is then actually going to make it so your enemies are having to face off against 5 enemies, and it'll make them have to kill him twice, which is going to be ridiculous. And because of all of the things that Julius does with his kit, he's going to make it so hard and difficult for all of your enemies, and not only PvE, but also Arena as well. He's just going to be so good for that. So with that, he's going to be really tough to get rid of. So overall, both of their passives are really good, as Noelle's able to give herself counters and also do a bunch of AoE damage, and then Julius is able to revive himself with up to all of his HP, 100% of his HP. He's going to be, they're both really good passives, but which one is actually the better passive? So if I had to say whose passive I do actually think is better, I'm going to say probably Julius's passive is slightly better, I think, because although Noelle's is absolutely fantastic with her counters and whatnot, and also giving herself some extra HP to heal herself, would keep her alive with anyway, with that shield, it's going to be really good. But I think the regression, which will allow Julius to then return back to life with all of his HP at max dupes, I think is ridiculous. It's going to be so good, especially when you get to the very high end stages of PvE. I think when you're going to be taking so much damage, especially when you come to do the Hall of Illusions, it's going to be so good to have someone like Julius on your account to use, as a lot of the hardest bosses in the game are going to do a lot of damage and you'll be able to one-shot your characters pretty easily. So in order to stop that from happening, you can shove Julius so he can come back and then he can do all of his damage over again. But although Julius's passive, once they're maxed out, is probably a little bit better, that's not actually the full story with duping characters, as when you also dupe characters, you're not only going to get those passives, but you're also going to get a bunch more stats. Okay, so I've just hopped on my Korean account just so you can actually see what all of these characters dupes can actually do. So as I mentioned before, instead of only just getting passives, you also get stats as well, as for Noelle's first dupe, you get an extra 400 attack and 1000 HP or vitality, whatever it's called, and then that will then repeat for the next 2 dupes as well. So you'll be able to get 1200 extra magic attack just from that, from 3 dupes, which is kind of insane. And then on the 4th dupe, you'll be getting it again. You'll be able to get another 400 magic attack and 1000 vitality, as well as 12% actual crit resistance. And then the final dupe will once again be another 400 magic attack, 1000 vitality, and then 12% crit resistance. So that then should be a 2000 increase in magic attack, which is a ridiculous amount. It's like putting on another LR piece of gear, which is ridiculous. So you got huge bonuses for Noelle here. But this then brings me on to all of Julius's dupes. So let's start with his first dupe, which can be 400 increase in magic attack as well as 1.4% crit rate. And that'll be the same for the second dupe as well as his first passive. And the same again for his third dupe. And then on his 4th dupe, he will then gain an extra 1 speed as well as all the other stat increases from before. And then on his final dupe, he will then also gain another 400 magic attack, 1.4% crit rate, and an extra 2 speed, which in total will be a overall increase of 3 speed, which is going to bring his speed all the way from 104 all the way to 107. So there it is. You've seen absolutely everything to do with these characters and their dupes. You've seen their passives, all of their stat increases, how you can actually get these dupe stones and how to use them, etc. But overall, which character is better for you to do? So overall, it's got to be Julius, man. Julius has to be the character that if you're going to do one of these characters, it's got to be Julius, if you care about playing the meta or whatever. But if you do like Noelle more, then go ahead and dupe Noelle more if you like her or whatever. It doesn't really matter, just have fun at the end of the day. But I think Julius is honestly just a much better pick if you're really trying to perform at the highest level in Arena, as all of the stat increases he's going to get are so valuable and are going to be really helpful. And the fact that once you can get his 5th dupe or his 5th enhancement level, you can be 1 point of speed quicker, then Noelle is going to make your life so much easier when you come to face other Noelle teams with your Julius. So overall, I think Julius is the best character for you to dupe out of Noelle and Julius. So there you have it. That is it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below whether this helped you or not with your decision on who you might spend your Universal SR mage pieces on, as I really hope it can help you all. But without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Peace!